Jeff Quinn, representing the George Clay Fire Company.
Hold on 1 second, please.
Just 1 second. Okay, Jeff. I have a number of talking points here tonight. I'm going to first respectfully request that the time be turned off for me. I'm representing the George Clay. There are multiple people that come to this meeting to present building projects that don't get put on the time limit. And you heard us here last month. I had multiple talking points to discuss, last week. And I had some points to talk about that. I respectfully request that that be turned off so I can really concentrate on what we need to talk about and not worry about being on the clock. I have a lot of important information to bring up.
Unfortunately, you have 10 minutes.
Dick.
You have 10 minutes, Jeff, and that's it.
Dick.
10 minutes, and that's it,
Dick,
okay?
I spent an hour.
Respect me.
Dick.
It's 10
What are all these
minutes.
people here for?
Respect us!
Respect the resident.
Hey, look,
Dick.
any shouting from the audience, you continue, we're going to ask you to leave, okay? This is going to be a civil meeting. We don't need anybody to arouse the anxiety issues with the people.
Please,
We have rules, we have ground rules, that's it, Jeff.
Can I ask other council members, please support me and turn the clock off? I feel like I'm under pressure here.
I'll go over when it's your address.
Please can we turn the clock off for me? I spent so many hours on this since the December 5th meeting. I spent an hour today, I spent an hour in the meeting with Fink on Saturday. I bet you the fire company had a special meeting for this. We spent 3 hours at the last company meeting from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. talking about this.
So may I ask a question?
Yeah.
We did request any of the talking points in
Yep.
advance.
Yeah.
So I respect that we spent a great deal of time.
Yep.
I didn't see.
These are my talking points, and everything I'm going to reference has been referenced in the report that came out already. I want to speak to that report.
Can you give me an idea of the duration of your?
It may go 15, it may go 20.
Because what's often helpful in these scenarios, if we have the talking points in advance, then it's a different document.
I completely agree with that, and to the point that Dennis Frankenfield made, he asked for public safety meetings in March. And my comment is, I feel that we have to get everything out right now, because this is really, I'm 28 years, past president, past first assistant. This is the worst that I've seen at that firehouse right now. And I think this is a monumental change in a time of a moment of high influence where we're going to go in the right direction or the wrong direction here. And I can speak to all that if I have the time to do that tonight. It may be 20 minutes. It may be a half-hour baseball questions. I'm going to ask you to ask me questions. I'm going to ask you questions.
We do have a Q&A session.
Yeah.
The agenda says there's going to be questions and comments by council
So I've been
after
writing
the
my questions
presentation.
down.
Can I please just extend my time if it goes over a little bit? Please, I'm begging you.
You can start now, the 10 minutes starts now.
Dick.
The 10 minutes starts now.
My first,
I'll give you my three.
my first
You
talking,
can't pass on all
my
this.
first talking point tonight was.
Jeff, please.
It started, the clock started. My first talking point
No, it hasn't started.
is that this meeting is for the firehouse. And I was going to ask that we not be asked to sit down. That's my talking point. That we be asked not to sit down. That was my first talking point for tonight, 116, based off what happened on 1-8. We didn't get the floor. And I mean, I'm on the clock here. I do not need to be on the clock here. That's disrespectful, Dick. 28 years as a volunteer, you'll give more time to somebody who's going to build a building in the borough and hasn't dedicated an hour to this borough. Please.
It's a shame you're wasting your time arguing about something. Why don't you just get to the subject matter?
Your smugness shows how much you care
Open the
about
budget.
No, we do care, and look, any more outbursts,
Mike, can you
we
start
will
over
ask
and I'll go.
you to leave. Please.
Clock is stopped.
Okay, thank you. So as you heard earlier, the firehouse is an open book. If there are any questions about membership, firehouse, finances, apparatus, equipment, fire calls, training, the hall, equipment, anything, we are open book. You can ask any of those questions, right? We know Senate Resolution 6, we know House Bill 148, we know the DCED survey that was done for the borough before, we know the VFI study that was referenced in Jose's document that was requested by the borough and provided to the borough recommendations in it. We know the Montgomery County survey that was just done in 2018. We know the SRX6 that was just done in 2018. We can speak to those. I'm going to cover a number of those today. And you asked what I didn't provide. All those are public documents that are available to you. I want to point you to those so that you know what we're talking about and why we have such concerns about what's going on here right now. One question I'm going to ask. Dick, where do you see the George Clay Firehouse in 5 years and 20 years? 5 years and 20 years, where do you see it?
We'll answer that when we get to the question.
Can I ask that question?
I don't want to waste your time. Get to your point.
Thank you very much. I'll look at that. And I have a number of points related to that, but I'll skip over those since we're not there. Jose, you had some very specific questions of the firehouse at the December 5th budget workshop related to Conshohocken. We are not here to talk about Conshohocken or other municipalities. We're here to talk about West Conshohocken and what the George Clay provides to the Borough of West Conshohocken. I am going to reference a number of other municipalities and what they're doing because you took us there on the Conshohocken proposal. And that's to educate council on what we think is important, not to compare us to other municipalities and show what they have and what we don't have, but to show you why we think we know what we're doing, right? A lot of talk about our hall, right? Across the bridge in Conshohocken has a hall. Plymouth, White Marsh, Upper Marion, Lower Marion, Bridgeport, all of them have halls and bars and stuff in their firehouses they use to make money. We don't use that hall to make money. We use that hall to support firefighting functions. Everything we do in that firehouse is to support firefighting functions. Did we make any progress, Dick, Jack, or Jose, on the recommendations or the items that we discussed at the budget workshop meeting on the 18th? Any progress?
No.
Because we had talked about recommendation number 3 in the 2014 study that was in the proposal that Jose and council voted on our budget, right? That was the fire assessment survey, and we talked about that and asked council to look into that and start working on it. And when we look at the proposal, there's a lot of comments in there that talk about actions that need to be taken now, financial and non-financial. We brought those up at a public safety meeting. We got to start moving on those things. If we sit here in 3 months or 6 more months and we don't take action on those, we're going to be in the same place we're in right now. And if I have the ability to get through the stuff I want to talk to you tonight, I will convey that to you and share with you why that's so important to us and why it's so important for the borough. Any questions on that right now? Anything that I brought up so far? Nothing? So the public safety meetings that we asked about and attending those, I completely agree having those every 2 months. The fire company is going to ask that there's minutes from those meetings and that they're approved and they're made available. And I don't think that's an unreasonable request. Those minutes should be available for the public to see for a public safety meeting. And I don't think it's unreasonable because Upper Marion Township and Plymouth Township both post theirs on the internet. You can go read their fire advisory board minutes. I think it's a very, what's that? I think it's a very reasonable request.
I don't think for the public safety meeting, I don't think that'll be a problem.
Okay. We're going to ask that communications between the firehouse and the borough going forward be in writing, preferably email. If there's a conversation that's happened between somebody and it's important enough that we need to document it, we think an email should be sent on that. There were a number of times where John Fink told me I was handed something, I had to go to the firehouse and get a copy of it. I mean, we're in an electronic age here. It has to be done in email. I can't be going around getting a piece of paper. We're going to ask again to be put on the agenda. And we're going to be asked to be put on the agenda every month under the committee, department, and mayor's report. We are a department of this borough, and we think we should be on every single agenda at every council meeting. If we have something to speak about, we will. If we don't, we won't. The authorized speakers for the firehouse will be the president or chief, unless they or the company designate somebody else to come down here and speak. So they may designate me as the budget committee chair to come speak, or they may designate somebody else. But we'll follow policy and procedure, and we won't just have members come down here throwing stuff at it. It'll be really nice. I made a comment about a firefighter leaving last month. He left. He went over to Conshohocken. He's disheartened. We have another volunteer firefighter who just went through 180 hours of firefighting 1 training, right? I'm standing in the firehouse with him a month ago, and he lives in Upper Marion Township, and his family that runs between the firehouse. And we start talking, and he says something about a stipend program and a LoSAP program. And he says, why am I running calls here when they have that in Upper Marion Township? And we'll get into some comparisons of Upper Marion Township and what's going on. My brother Jeremy was up here the other night. Worcester Township has an earned income tax credit for firefighters. And he's saying to himself, why didn't I start running calls there? Why am I in West Conshohocken when I'm getting nothing for what I'm doing? Those are the comments that I prepared after we weren't allowed on the budget on the 8th. That was what I thought I needed to speak to based off of how I went last time. My comments for the 8th start out with, we're here because of the proposed service and budgetary proposal. That's what we're talking about, right? This was presented to the firehouse at the December 5th budget meeting, right? It was presented to council. The firehouse did not have a copy of it at the budget meeting, right? As Dennis spoke about, not one member of the public safety committee, not the fire company liaison, whether it was Jose or somebody prior to that, not borough council, not the borough manager, came to the firehouse and answered one question about the budget or anything prior to that December 5th budget meeting. Then it was voted on December 11th, and the fire company didn't get a copy until December 12th. We didn't even see that proposed document with the budget and how things are being handled. And the issue with that is, we've asked multiple times in 2018, the chief is in the minutes asking to come down and talk to public safety, talk about budget, right? We weren't given it, and there were no questions posed to us. Nothing in advance, no warning that no, we're gonna have cuts or whatever it is. And listen, I'm not here to talk about budget cuts. I'm here to educate council on why this is such a problem, the morale and the recruitment and retention of volunteers. And again, if you let me go through, at the end of this, I hope you see the way that I see it and the way that I see it.